we're going to talk about a topic that is the fun part of the podcast, live bands in Australia, but I think we might need to narrow it down a little more on the heavy metal because it becomes too much of a big topic, and to make it niche is always better, be more useful, the conversation. Yeah. So heavy metal live bands, where do they come from mostly? From the US, or that's not true? That's
US, UK.
US, UK, that's true, yeah.
Europe, Scandinavian countries.
Yeah, as well?
Yeah, okay. Norway, big doom metal, death metal sort of scene there.
So what's your views on that, say, in the last maybe 10 years, but particularly last the COVID thing?
Well, the COVID thing's killed it. Yeah. Like, I think the last concert we actually went to together.
Yeah,
completely randomly.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. But that's the last live gig I've been to since COVID kicked off. And I am so ready to see live music again. It is.
So what's the problem in Australia? Why not enough live bands coming or attracted to come to Australia? I mean, what is it? Our tax system? We're isolated from the world? What is it?
Yes, isolation.
Other end of the planet from everybody.
Yeah.
Is that really what it is? It's too expensive for them, is it? To come over? The risk for them is too great?
For Iron Maiden to have bought their own 747 just to tour, it's expensive, right?
Yeah, sort of.
If that's cheaper.
The documentary, it was really awesome.
Yeah. So what hope do bands have that don't have that kind of history of successive touring and clearly money saved up?
I mean, the idea is great. I mean, think about Guns N' Roses. They invented the idea, but look what happened to them, right?
I would start a band just to buy a plane. Thank you very much. But I think that's all it is. It's too far away and it's expensive. And hiring a venue and doing all the marketing for that, I mean, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and COVID just sort of ended it completely.
Absolutely.
Basically.
But it's time for innovation there, right? It's time for somebody to step up.
What do you think needs to happen? Can the government help with that? Some kind of incentives to make it win-win for everybody? Can they create some kind of incentive? Because we did that for the movies. We did that for the movies.
Did we?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's why a lot of movies that are, completely Hollywood movies, they shot them here because of the tax incentive the government's created, and no one would even realise, but they were shot actually in Sydney, in different spots around Sydney, but they are completely Hollywood movie. No one even knew these scenes are in Australia. They would pick a typical sort of city or towers that looked like could be in any city. You wouldn't even know where you are, but they were shot in Australia because of the tax incentive the government created over a period of about 5-6 years.
I suppose it's probably like a marketing thing almost.
Yeah.
Is a sort of way of like, oh, look how good Australia is. And people realise, that was shot in Australia.
I think there's also one other problem here, is you guys are kind of focusing on international bands as well. Because there's plenty of local bands that are perfectly good, but the COVID just killed all live music. Yeah. Just completely.
So we don't have an issue. It's just the COVID thing?
It's not because there's an issue.
Even pre-COVID, he was always saying, we don't get enough and something's not right with the scene.
Well, I mean, again...
I think it's mainly Sydney as well.
And we are talking about specifically, metal bands and stuff like that. And there aren't enough around. And if there are, there's no avenue for them to go and perform and for anyone to find out about it. I mean, you'd have to have a marketing department for a garage band to get going, right? Like when I was younger, you used to be able to go out to places and you would have live bands. You'd have people that have just been playing around in their garage and they'd play to an audience and get drunk, have fun, have a mosh. And I don't know if that exists. Maybe I'm just getting old.
No, I think it's because Sydney kind of killed it a lot.
Killed it?
Yeah, live music in Sydney, really, the scene isn't there as much as it, say, was 30 years ago.
Other cities are better in Australia?
Melbourne, for sure.
Yeah, Melbourne is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've heard that,
yeah. Sydney just, particularly when the lockout laws came in, it just sort of killed nightlife a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And live music just took a bit of a nosedive around here.
And that was followed by COVID.
Lockout laws were ages ago, weren't
they?
Yeah, but two hits, I guess. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Although I think they've pulled the lockout laws now, right?
I have no idea. I think that they probably
like that, I think.
reduced them. They got rid of them.
But it basically killed the cross.
When you hear bands talk in interviews and stuff like that on internet or whatever, they all love to come to Australia. They all have great stories to talk about Australia. It's not like their appetite to come to Australia, right? Must be financials or 100%. The country not big enough or something to have enough money generated from those gigs. I don't know what it is.
Well, if you do a tour of the States, you've got way more cities that you can stop in,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Whereas here, you're doing Brisbane, you're doing Sydney,
Melbourne.
maybe Perth,
3 or
Adelaide.
4, yeah, sure. As opposed to 20, 30, 40 over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for in a much shorter distance.
That's true.
Plus the initial outlay of flying over and the jet lag.
Yeah.
And not debating that it's a massive thing for a band to do. But I think maybe you're right. Like the government should probably step in and go, hey, let's make it easier for them.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would be complaining about that. Venues would be booked out.
Because exactly. Because I mean, it's all local. The amount of people that get employed locally. I mean, all that stuff, the lightings and whatever. There's an industry of probably in excess of 50,000 companies. Anything from one-man band that's got a bunch of lights in the garage that he hires out, to the crane guy, to the this and that. It's an amazing industry and ecosystem. So if the government were to do something to attract these bands to come in, yes, the bands make money, but 80% of it is locally. 80% of that money is locally.
Yeah, they're not going to bring all the cast, all the crew out. Yeah.
Well, if
I think
they
we've just
bring
solved the problem.
if they bring them, yeah. I mean, as I said, we did that for the movie industry, no question about it.
Yeah.
Look it up on the internet; it's a known fact. Yeah,
Well, job done. That's what's wrong with this country.
we need to find a prime minister who's funky enough that loves heavy metal to want to do something about it.
I'll do it.
Okay, all right.
Have the PM.
Vote for
It's
Pav.
my initials anyway, right?
The timing for the election is perfect timing for the podcast as
Get
well.
your paperwork in.
So everybody vote for Pav. At some stage, is going to be.
Can I do it from overseas? Yeah, I could do it remotely.
Yeah.
All
Why
right,
not?
he's
Yeah,
going to be
that's
based
fine.
in the US, but he's
Zoom
going to be the
works
Prime
fine,
Minister of
yeah.
Australia. Okay, that's
enough.
fine. We can make it work.
Yeah,
somehow. All right, very good. All right, guys, thank you again for the chat.
No worries.
Signing off. If you enjoyed that content at some level, if you're crazy enough to enjoy this content, subscribe down below, and we'll see you at the next podcast. Thanks again.